Once in a while you come across a conspiracy theory that truly takes the biscuit. Today is definitely one of those days. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Before we begin today, I just want to give a massive shout out to Julian HG, who made me this solid bronze play button. I'll leave a link in the description of him actually making it. Please do check it out. He's brilliant. Right, back to today's conspiracy. This is a picture of the Devil's Tower in Crook County, Wyoming. It consists of 386 metres of igneous rock that towers over the surrounding plains. It was formed when the surrounding sedimentary rock had been eroded away over millions of years, leaving Devil's Tower jutting out above the landscape. Now imagine how a conspiracy theorist can take hold of this rock and make us facepalm harder than we've ever facepalmed before. YouTuber Pam Jones for Liberty has this to say on the matter.
What I'm about to tell you may sound strange.
That's right, some people think that the Devil's Tower is a giant tree stump left over from a past civilization.
Or even crazy. But sometimes the truth can be strange and even crazy. Devil's Tower, Wyoming National Park, 5,112 feet.
The 5,000 odd feet, or 1,558 metres they're referring to, is the elevation above sea level of the tower. The tower's height though, compared to the land surrounding it, is, as I said, 368 metres. I'm not really sure what elevation has to do with it, but let's continue.
What do you see in this picture? Maybe some boats, or maybe a bridge. You see, everybody sees reality in a totally different way, depending on what you're looking for. But what if the reality you see is not as real as you think, but instead a reality which has been given to you to blind you from the truth?
Then I would obviously be annoyed, but calling a giant igneous rock an old tree stump just because it looks a bit like one is a bit of a stretch. I mean, this potato looks like a giant fat cell, but it doesn't mean I'm going to claim that it's a fat cell from an old species of giant, does it?
Do you remember when you were a child and everything was so magical? You would open up these fairy tales and you would hear of trees as tall as the sky. The forest as we know it today is not the forest that once existed.
This is almost half true. There's almost certainly different forests back then than there are now, but not giant ones.
The sequoia. We have cut down so many trees. It's unbelievable. And now they live in museums. We go and visit them. In national parks, and we hug them as children do. Now they only live in our imagination. They are rare, few and far between. Devil's Tower. But take a closer look. Wait a minute. This is a tree stump. Can you see the resemblance?
I can see the resemblance, so what? Even though it's igneous rock, a rock formed from volcanic activity, even though no one has ever shown it to be a form of wood, ever, even though there is no evidence to suggest that a tree of that size could ever exist. Despite all of this, people still seem to think that giant pillars of ancient lava across the world are nothing but giant tree stumps.
There are no accidents in this universe. Nature is far too intelligent for that. Wow, the Devil's Tower.
Where was nature's intelligence when it made conspiracy theorists and flat earthers? I did a bit more research and found a video from a guy called imikewillrockyou who doesn't seem convinced about this theory.
Were there once giant trees on Earth? Many have pointed to peculiar structures such as Devil's Tower, the Arizona mesas, and similar structures all over the world that look like giant broken tree trunks. Now, these structures really do look like giant petrified tree trunks. They flare out at the bottom, as you would see in a root system on a tree. The structure itself looks like a tree trunk. And of course, this idea that these structures are giant tree trunks seems incredible to me. It seems incredible to the geologists too. They don't believe these are giant tree trunks.
Some sanity at last.
Now, I'm certainly not convinced these are tree trunks. I actually doubt they are tree trunks. The geologists doubt they are tree trunks. But there was one more thing that really caught my attention. And this is another structure called Devil's Postpile in California. And the geologists believe it was formed by the same process as Devil's Tower in Wyoming. And when I looked at this structure, Devil's Postpile, what I see is what looks like a broken, bent tree stump. You know, when a tree breaks, it kind of flares out and you get the little splinters kind of break out. Well, Devil's Postpile very much looks like that same type of thing. You can see the bend in the rock, like it was bent like a tree. It was soft at one point in time and bent and then broken and flared out. And so that caught my eye as well.
Oh, Mike. What's going on with this world? Right, that about wraps up another Tinfoil Tuesday episode and the last video of January. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Please do check out Julian HG as well. Thank you again for the play button. I shall see you all on Friday where we're taking on the biggest flat earther YouTuber yet. See you all then.